you now? What is
Good
good, Green?
afternoon.
How's it going? Good
Good afternoon. Oh, it's
afternoon.
doing great, sir. How are you? So
I'm
I have a
doing
few questions
good.
for you.
Yeah, it seems like you don't like my criticisms of Nicholas Deorio.
No, I really don't. I got a few fucking things for you. Sorry, do I mind if I curse here? I don't know who's
No,
watching.
yeah, you're good. We're
Okay.
grown ups.
So I got a few things right off the bat. So you're just mad that Deorio is larger than you. So I saw you seething that Deorio said that you've
When did
been.
I ever say that? When did I ever even talk about Deorio's views? I don't care who's bigger than me or not.
You can cope to
I've
that, but
never talked about Deorio's view counts. I never said, oh, he's bigger than me. He shouldn't be bigger than me. I don't care about view counts. I care about behavior. I
you
care
don't
about
really need to.
standards.
Yeah, here's the thing: is that all of these streamers, yourself included, you care about who's watching, you care about making money, because anybody who's streaming for 12 hours and makes $2 is a loser.
I
Number
mean, I
one.
don't even make money. I make money IRL. I don't make money off of here. This is
Oh,
not my
that was
full
good.
time
That's
job.
good. I'm glad to hear that. Um, I'm relieved that your parents know you are making money. But number two, Diorio. So Diorio's thing. So he's like a wise guy. He's like an Italian. He's old school.
He
Guys in
knows
his
how to lie.
30s.
He knows how to trick people like you into believing that he's actually morally good, has
Yeah.
standards. He's just grifter like everyone else. He literally panders to popular opinion. Whatever's popular, he'll go with. Whatever he's aligned with, he'll go with. Because he claims to be against DMCA's, but then he wants to be friendly and cozying up to someone like Ethan Klein, who constantly files false
Uh
lawsuits
huh.
against people.
Yeah. False DMCA's. That's interesting. I have a few questions about that. So he used to not support DMCA's, and now he does. Do you know how long it's been that a person might be able to change their mind? People change.
Yeah, and I can disagree with the change though, because that's this thing. I watched Deorio for his original opinions, and he has a right to change his opinions, but I have a right to say, hey, I don't like that you changed this opinion because I thought this is a good opinion that you had. And that's my criticism is I kind of wish he didn't change his opinion on
Yeah.
DMCA's and Life Nation. Because you got even if you like Deorio, right? You can like someone's content and still think what they're doing is stupid. And what Ethan Klein is doing to Noah Sampson, I'm not defending Noah Sampson in any regard because I don't agree with his rhetoric at all. But what he's doing to Noah Sampson is stupid because all Noah Sampson did was say, "Hey, Ethan Klein supports a genocide in my opinion, and I don't
Yeah.
believe it is excuses, and I don't think
Yeah.
we should be suing someone over an opinion. You can disagree with an opinion, you can debunk Noah Sampson, but suing him and trying to silence him, that's just not
Yeah.
cool, and that's what I don't like."
Yeah. I agree. I agree to an extent. So here's the problem, right? Number one, there's like unhinged snarkers in the Reddit Discord. These people are out of fucking control. These people called CPS on Ethan Clyde's family. They sent fucking skulls to this guy's house. What the fuck? And all because the guy was being, he was just sharing some personal details about his life. These people think it's none of their business to call the fucking CPS on these people's homes. And number two, uh, um, he might be pro DMCA now. Okay, sure. He changed his mind. You think it's stupid? Sure. But you're saying he's grifting to the larger, is changing to the, he's just adopting the whatever popular opinion, whatever. How? Because what I see is when he's giving his opinion, he's giving reasons behind it, and it just so happens that there's a large majority that agree with him. I would argue you are in the minority of what people think, and it's probably a good indicator that most people agree with them because most people are level-headed and reasonable, and you, my friend, may not be because
That's
you don't
not
really.
how it works at all, and that's the thing. Nicholas, because that's the thing, you say it's not because of popular opinion, but then why all of a sudden? Because Nicholas Diorio used to be against DMCA. His whole thing was, oh, I don't like DMCA's, I don't like
Yeah.
lawsuits, I don't like this and that. But then all of a sudden, when he's buddy buddy with Ethan Klein, and only with Ethan Klein, he's like, oh, I don't mind DMCA. Go after him. Go sue him. I don't give a fuck. Like, don't you think that's a little shady? Because if this was someone like Susie Liu doing this, even now, I feel like Nicholas Deorio would have a different opinion. And that's the problem. Is it's not just the stances are changing. It's because he's having a lot of double standards. And someone that
Double
actually
standards.
has, yeah,
Can you
because
substantiate that? When you say, because it sounds like you're just saying he's this, he's grifting, he's lying, he's having double standards.
yeah, there's a lot of
Where?
stuff he's
How?
doing.
Yeah,
Because literally, there's so many
go point
examples.
by
That's the
point.
thing. When because that's the thing. When Susie Liu files false DMCA's and strikes on people, he has a problem with that. But when Ethan Klein does it, there's no issue. And
Well,
that's
because
just
Ethan
fucking
Klein's
crazy.
not doing false DMCA's. The difference here is that Ethan Klein,
So
he's
you don't
noticing these
think
snarkers are using his intellectual property to make
Yeah, but I'm
money
not talking
and
about
to
the
harass
snipers.
him.
I'm talking about the Noah Samson thing. Noah Samson, to my knowledge, didn't do that. And the lawsuit that he's suing Noah Samson for didn't even talk about any of the snarker stuff. It talked about specifically Noah Samson saying that Ethan Klein believes in a genocide, is supporting a genocide. Like, that's what he's suing Noah Samson over.
Oh,
And
so
that's
the
the thing. I'll say
defamation.
this, right? I'll say this, right? Because I don't know much about the snarker stuff. And I'll say this, right? If the snarkers are harassing people in the
Yeah.
Orioles camp, which I don't know if they are or aren't because I don't know too much about those guys, but I'll just say this. If they are doing CPS calls and they're doing all that,
Yeah.
I disavow. It doesn't matter who someone's doing it to. It doesn't matter who the person is. It doesn't even matter if I hate the person. I don't support doxing and swatting of any kind. And if we're doing that to Ethan Klein, I fully
Yeah.
disavow. But it doesn't mean I can't have criticisms of Ethan Klein and Deorio, and I feel like that they just have a lot of double standards. Deorio flipped a lot of his opinions because he literally his whole thing against Steph Needles was, oh, you don't block people over criticism. How you're blocking Spurgs over criticism? That's funny. That makes you a lolcow. That makes you a bitch. But then a year later, he starts blocking people and doing the same thing as Steph Noodles. Diorio's literally adapting traits of all the people that he criticized over the past. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's just as someone that actually liked Diorio in 2020 and in 2020 and 2019, it kind of disappoints me that he's just changing a lot of these stances that I agreed with. And that's why I disagree with him. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what popular opinion, doesn't matter how much clout I get. In fact, I'll probably be a nobody for the rest of my whole career because I do this as a hobby.
Oh, I get it. Okay, so point by point here. What you said is a lot of you're doing like maybe they call it gishgaloping. So the gishgaloping is, so far as I know, it's where you just throw a bunch of or not seemingly, just unrelated situations all
It's not
together
unlike
for the
situations
overall
that
point.
the prompt
See,
is
Noah
why I don't
Sampson,
like Nicholas Diorio, and I'm
excuse
giving
me.
you my reasons.
Noah Sampson is being sued because he is saying he supports a genocide. And so where has that ever come out of the man's mouth? I've never heard him say, I want Israel to kill all the Palestinians. I've never heard that before.
Well, but that's Noah Sampson's opinion, and that's the thing. Like I said earlier in the
It's
stream,
an objectively
hold on.
untrue
Let me finish.
opinion.
Let me
And
finish.
it's a harmful opinion.
Hold on. Ethan Klein, instead of spending
Yeah.
this money and trying to sue Noah Sampson, all he could do is pull up a clip of him disavowing the genocide. Boom! Noah Sampson will look like a retard, and nobody would even be criticizing
Yeah.
him for suing Noah Sampson. Like, could you agree that Ethan Klein could have just debunked Noah Sampson instead of suing the dude? Because I feel like suing is just a waste of time. It's not even
You
about the
know
why,
what?
it's just a waste of time because it's like you can
That's
literally
a
debunk him in
totally
2 seconds.
unhinged opinion to have. All right,
How?
because number
You can
one,
literally debunk, if you can debunk someone within 2 seconds with
yeah.
clips you've said, then why sue him?
Because here's the thing. So Noah Sampson, he's got a large audience, and he wants these people to think that Ethan Klein is some type of evil character. So right now, he's like they're trying to make him out to sound like he's some evil comic book villain. And they're saying, oh, this guy, he wants Palestinian children dead. He's supporting a genocide. It's objectively untrue, but it's a harmful opinion because already Ethan Klein has gone out of his way to say, I do not support them. I do not support them. It's not his fault that he is Jewish. It's anti-Semitic, quite frankly, because just the fact that he is Jewish, it does not mean that he inherently supports the state of Israel. and
I
he's
don't even think
criticized
it's
the
because
state of
he's
Israel
Jewish. I think
before.
people think that because he's flipped. Ethan Klein has flipped on the stances. He'll say that
Yeah.
I don't support a genocide, but then says, "Oh, Israel had a right to bomb this and that." It's like he tries to pander to both sides. He tries to make himself look good, and that's the thing. It's like if he truly doesn't support the genocide, then all he should do is just say, "Hey,
Yeah.
look, here's the clips." Because at the end of the day, it's like not a lot of people like Noah Samson. Like, yeah, Noah Samson has this unhinged leftist audience, but it's like Ethan Klein's audience already hates Noah Samson. They hate Noah Samson. They hate
Yeah.
Deshaun. They're gonna believe Ethan regardless. So I feel like suing him is just a waste of time.
As far as you think it's a waste of time, so number one, he does not want people to falsely accuse him of something. So yes, so Ethan Klein has already had this issue before. People are labeling him things. They're saying he supports things. He goes and he says he does not support these things, and they continue to harass him. They direct their audiences. Noah Samson's audience is going and sending CPS skulls to the guy's house, for Christ's sakes. They're messing with his family, his own kids, is in his home. He knows no peace. And it's all because he's Jewish. Yeah, I would get the police, I would get the court involved because I would not see any other option. See, I could have a trillion debates with these people. And these people are so ingrained in their brain, it's like a virus. They would not understand that he's telling the truth. So
See,
when you're pushed into desperation, you need the courts to say, if you say this about me, it is defamation, it is harassment, it is not true. Now
all
you
right,
got to see what
so
they're doing. These people, they say they support Israel. They get Molotov thrown through their office windows. They get pig heads left at their doors. It's a big crisis right now. Anti-Semitism is fucking rising across the United States. Have you seen that? Have you seen the news? It's out of control. And so
well, it's
right
out of
now,
control because
using
Israel government does a lot of shitty stuff. But look, right?
yeah,
Hold on, I can give you an example because that's the thing, right? People say shit about me like that all the time, and I know they're like, "Oh, you're a small guy," but yeah, people have said this shit about me all the time. People literally say that I support the IRGC in Iran for just being critical of the war. Should I sue those people just because they say I'm a just because they claim that I'm against the IRGC? Because I didn't sue those people. I just told them, hey, I'm not for the IRGC. I've criticized them. I
at
even
this
said
point,
I'm for them.
at this point in the current political climate, if someone calls you a pedophile, you do not waste your time arguing with them. You go to suing because that's defamation. And what
Well,
they're calling you is something so evil, it could impact your career, it could impact your associations, it can bring undue harm and untold risk
also
unto
there
your
are
family.
people. There's also people saying you had some emails. Like, would you want to address whatever they're talking about with emails? Like, is it just a troll? Like, what is the whole emails thing people keep saying in checks? I don't know who the fuck you are, so I'm gonna be.
What is these emails? Could you read out one of these messages? I've got
I've told them to send me receipts, and that's the thing. Unlisted channel 23. Please send me DM me on Discord. Send me the receipts if you want me to ask, because that's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know the screen fella. We'll be talking about the whole Deorio thing. So whatever lawyer you're trying to send, you want me to ask, just
Go
send
ahead.
it
I've
and
got
I'll.
nothing to hide. I've got a similar issue right now. I can relate to Ethan Klein. I've got a
I mean,
commitment
I have a similar
anti-fans.
issue. People think that I'm fucking supporting the RGC for just being against the Iran war. It's like, yeah, no.
Look, it's not cool. It's not funny to be called a terrorist, a sympathizer, and that's why I support his extreme thing. People nowadays, people got big mouths. They can say whatever they want, and they don't care. And they just, people like Unlisted Channel, who's accusing me of doing nasty things. That's just plain untrue. But the issue is that they talk so confidently. I'm thinking, you know what? The only way for me to get my point across and defend myself is to sue you. And you know what? You wouldn't be saying those things when you're in court seated 15 feet away from my face. Now, would you? Because I catch you in the parking lot and it might get real physical. I'm liable to catch a case. And that's the problem with these people. And that's why I agree with Ethan Klein. These people, they got big mouths, they run their mouths, and they fuck with your business. And that's why Deorio's now big enough. He's big enough to be an LLC at this rate.
See,
He's a big
I've
self-made guy.
been I've
And
been in your shoes too, right? Where people have been and it's not just the RGC thing. People have, like, because that's the thing. Commentary is known for false allegations. People have said, like, people just call me a pedo just to call me it and say it's a joke all the time, and I'm like, this is bullshit. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you know something is not true, you just go along with your life. You don't waste your money suing stuff, because at the end of the day, all suing does is just make you look worse. And not only that, but it's hard to win
not
a
exactly.
defamation lawsuit in America unless you can prove that these people are doing it to ruin your livelihood. Then that's how you win. But if you're just someone like me that makes no money, it's not going to even be good. And I know, like, with Ethan Klein, it's different. But, like, I don't think Noah Sampson said it to ruin Ethan Klein's livelihood. I think he just says it. He said it. And you may not agree with the statement itself, but Noah Sampson said it because, let's be real, Ethan Klein was flip-flopping on the whole issue of the genocide thing.
Yeah.
And when you flip-flop, people are going to think you support the extreme thing, even though you don't. That's why it's good to always have a stance and keep. This is why I tell Deorio, don't flip-flop your stances, because people are going to think he's a hypocrite. That's why I try my best not to flip on my stances. I try to have my own stances. When my stances change, I explain to the audience, hey, this is why my stances change. I mean, I understand, like, not liking slander, because slander is bullshit. And I don't support people that are going after Ethan Klein's kids, because that's just not cool. Calling CPS. That's why I didn't like the Hassan crowd. That's why I don't like that whole side, because they were doing that to Ethan Klein. It's just like, that's just not cool. You don't do that. But at the same time, Ethan Klein shouldn't be playing dirty and suing these people over opinions. Now, if Noah Sampson was doing the CPS thing and was involved in that, then I would understand him suing. But the lawsuit had nothing to do with the CPS thing. It's just strictly on opinion on the Gaza thing. And Ethan Klein could have just reposted his old clip instead of just suing the dude. Because if it's something like that, basic like that, because that's the thing, I could technically sue all the people that say I support the RGC, right, if I wanted to, right? But you know why I don't? Because I know it's not true. It'd be a waste of my time and life.
Yeah. Well, here's the issue, right? Let's stop and let's think. Someone as big as running a business, right? Let's put ourselves in these bigger guys' shoes. And Noah Sampson, let's just say for the sake of the conversation, they both got 2 million people following them. So we got 2 million subscribers, Noah, 2 million Ethan Klein. And so what Noah does is he loads a gun, and then he points the gun at Ethan Klein, and he says, oh, he just motions with the gun, right? And so Ethan Klein, he sees that and he's like, okay, well, now you're very clearly threatening me. You have a gun, it's loaded, and it's pointed at me. So when he's suing him for defamation, so factually it is a 1,000,000,000% untrue that he supports a genocide, that he even supports Israel. So number one. Number two, what he is doing by saying that right now, having that opinion is very deadly. It has people that come after you, they insult you, they ruin you. So the issue right here is that he is making a statement that is harmful to his reputation. It is a verifiably untrue statement, and he's saying it to not just himself and another person. He's saying this to 2 million people who are now becoming agitated and aggressive towards him for a totally untrue statement. So
yeah, but why did Noah Sampson make the statement? Because that's something you have to understand. Why did Noah
Sampson have an opinion? Yeah,
but why? Hold on.
Take accountability for when that
I know,
is dangerous.
But you still also have to, because this thing, I'm looking at this at an unbiased standpoint, because I don't like Ethan Klein, I don't like Noah Sampson, and that's the thing. Why did Noah Sampson have that opinion, right? Why did he have that opinion of the genocide, right? It's because Ethan Klein flip-flops. He said, oh, genocide's not good. These people, it's horrible. I don't support the Israeli government doing it. But then the next day on another stream, he's like, oh, they kind of have a right to do it. It's like, if you flip-flop on your statements and you have two different opinions, you basically have an opinion if you support the genocide, but then you don't, then it's just like, yeah.
Well, the
At that point,
issue
you look
here,
retarded. Like it
it's a
looks
very
stupid.
complicated situation
It
in
is
the
a
Middle
very
East.
complicated. That's why it's like for me,
Incredibly
it's like
complicated.
here's how I see the whole thing. Right, I see it's a complicated thing. It's like with defamation lawsuits, unless you know, like if Noah Sampson was saying this, knowing that Ethan Klein doesn't support the genocide and that he basically is against it because he's doing it to be malicious, then you could say, yeah, sue Noah Sampson. But Noah Sampson is basing his opinion on Ethan Klein flip flopping. So it's like you can't really say he's doing it maliciously when he's doing it based on how Ethan Klein moves. If you don't want people to think of you in certain ways, don't move the wind. Like if you don't want people thinking you're over there, don't move to that side. Because it's like you go with the wind go. If you go where the wind goes, the wind will literally follow you, and all the people following the wind will see you going with the wind. That's why you got to pick which one to go with. You got to pick which team and which stance you go with, or people are going to think you're thinking different things. Also, let's check out this.
So I have a few things to say about that. I don't think Ethan Klein is flip-flopping when he is saying in the Middle East he does not support the genocide, but he does support Israel's right to defend itself from any hostilities, any attackers. And so that's what Hamas is right now. Hamas is hiding under the schools, under hospitals. They're making their bases in civilian infrastructure, and they're sending rockets at playgrounds to just attack them in any way. So October 7th was a big thing. And so he's more celebrating, for me, example, I come from Mexico and I support Mexicans when they have a big issue with cartels, and I'm like, I cheer them on, kill the cartels. But then I'm in America, and it looks bad when I say I support Mexico because they immediately think I'm supporting the cartels just because of the fact that I might be a Mexican. And then that's when I have to clarify I only support the Mexicans who are killing the cartels, the bad guys, but I do not support them killing civilians. And I'm sure Ethan
Yeah,
Klein has said that before. Not every Palestinian is Hamas, but all Hamas are Palestinians.
yeah, but
So
you think suing Noah Sampson over this is really justified when Ethan Klein could have just collected the record? Because to me, this seems like it's more of a misunderstanding than Noah Sampson being like slanderous on purpose.
Well, here's the problem. In the code of law, you don't need to be saying a statement for it to be untrue. You don't need to believe that the statement is untrue for it to still be considered slander and be considered defamation. So the issue with defamation is it has to be spoken as if it is totally true, objective fact. But it is not objective fact that Ethan Klein
Which,
supports genocide. What he
um,
supports is Israel's right to defend itself from
which I
hostilities.
know this is a meme, but I was told to ask this. And
Go ahead. I'm listening.
who is Peter Scully, known as Green on Discord in this mugshot?
Okay, I do not go by Peter Scully. So my first name is Pete. People call me Easy Pete, but
Wait,
I
this
do
it's
not.
not a this is not a dox, is it?
No, no, no. My first name is public. I've always been. Everybody knows me as Pete. My friends call me Pete. My full name is really Peter, but my last name they call me Scully. I don't know who the Scully guy is. Apparently, that guy was doing like nasty things with dogs and children or something. I don't know too much about him. I wouldn't even look him up if I were you. I heard he's like a bad guy. But so this is what I mean. These people they go to crazy lengths to smear you because you're right. And the bigger you get, the greater you get, the more hate you get. And that's the issue with these Ethan Klein people. They're getting big and they're getting more hate. And right now, it's just a dangerous time to say, hey, you support Israel. I've had family members fight me, debates, arguments at the dinner table, Thanksgiving, because I say, I dare to say, I support Israel. And I think that's how inflammatory the political climate has become. That if you just have the wrong political opinion, they try to destroy you, and that's not a safe place to be. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I mean, opinion wise, I'm a utilitarian. I don't know if that's a political party or not, but that's kind of my point here. It's just it's so inflammatory. I don't even want
So
to be
what?
involved.
Just because I actually wanted to have this conversation with someone that does have different perspective, why do you support Israel? Because to me personally, I feel like they've been a shitty ally to us. They've been bombing Christian churches and all that. So why do you support Israel? And how am I wrong in like not liking Israel?
So a little way back when. I believe it was after World War II. The Rockefellers they write a letter to some guy. It's something like the ba 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 letter where they give Jews a spot in the Middle East to call Israel. And when they come over, they start expanding. Immediately, they're met with hostilities. These Palestinians, they do not. These people are very tribal and savage-like race. Unfortunately, that's not racist. It's just in the Middle East, they have tribes. They have everybody's. They got blood feuds for trillions of years. And so these people, they come in, they're just settlers, and immediately the natives are coming to fight with them. And so eventually, when they establish themselves, um, they are getting into conflict. These people want them out. So immediately from day one, Israel has been fighting a battle. They've been on their back foot, defending themselves from the moment they step foot in the Middle East. And so they got the Arabs coming after them. They got the Palestinians coming after them. They got the Arabians. The Saudi Arabians are the rich oil barons. These people are. So the issue right now in the Middle East, America is going and selling. We're going over to the Middle East. We're trafficking opium and poppy fields. We're selling it in the United States to buy weapons, and then we're going to go over to the Middle East and sell the weapons to the Saudi Arabians. So the Saudi Arabians sell the guns to the Arabs and to the Palestinians, so they can go and kill the Israelis. And it's that's been the truth since the decade. Like Dan Crenshaw, Dan Crenshaw's the guy who lost an eye, right? This guy, people, the guy's a big war pig. This guy, he just wants us to go into the Middle East and start killing people. I'm super against that. I do not believe we should be supporting Israel, but I support Israel's right to determination, self-determination. They should be totally within, manifest destiny and whatnot.
I just don't support the way they've been doing it because the reason why they've been attacked by all the neighbors is because they've been going into a land that's been inhabited by all these different people for thousands and thousands of years. And they've been just telling these Palestinians and all these other Muslim tribes, hey, get out of here, get out of our land. It's not your land, it's our land. And then they want to say, oh, these people are terrorists and that these are people that believe in Islam, that these people are terrorists. But then they're also kicking Christians out of the land as well. It's just like, yeah, this is not about, oh, these people are terrorists. You're just kicking people out of their lands and sending all these people to Europe. And now Europe's having a big, huge Muslim crisis. The Muslims are going and causing all the chaos over there because Israel's kicking all these people out and repopulating them to all these different countries. It's just creating chaos around the whole world. And I feel like Israel could basically make a deal with like the Palestinians, like how the Ottomans made a deal with the Christians a while back, because the Ottoman Empire and the Christians in Turkey, they still coexist with each other. Muslims and Christians in Turkey, they still coexist thousands of years later because they know how to share the land and not basically take over. Problem with Israel is they took it over and just told all these people to get the fuck out and refused to like do a trade or do anything to like keep these people in their homes.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many chaos around the whole world.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. You think the British or the Englandians, they think they got it bad because they got Muslims. Imagine being a Jew living over in the Middle East and having to live alongside them. These people have backwards traditions. I mean, the women have to wear full body clothing in the heat, in the dry heat. That's like murder. That's like attempted murder. And with Israelis, so these people, right? They came from, most of them are British Jews, right? And the British Jews at the time, they conquered, they all big world conquerors and such. They've been in there, and they come over. They bring civilization. They bring electricity, plumbing, water, you name it, they got it, and they present it. But the thing is that people have been living there for years. They're living in these fucking sand huts, and they are just super against it because they got their own traditions. They got their own Bibles, and they come over. And the Jews initially they tried to live alongside them. But the problem is that because they are they're just so aggressive towards the people that are living there. Eventually, Israel is realizing it's not safe. Their borders are not safe. They are getting into conflicts left and right. So originally, that's how they started expanding their borders just a bit, because well, it's kind of like a common sense. You got a border, you expand 50 feet out, and you build a big wall at the 50-foot mark, and that way you got a little bit of distance between you and the neighbor, you know. But the problem is these neighbors of theirs, the Palestinians, it's not even necessarily Hamas. They have different names for it: the Al Qaeda, ISIS, and they're sending bullets and bombs over the wall. So they just got constantly push the wall out further because they just want to live peacefully and just have a good and just live safe. But currently, because both sides have been attacking each other furiously for God knows how long, these people, there's families, there's brothers who are their entire generations are growing up and fighting in this blood and spilling blood and dying. There's blood feuds all over in the military. Most Jews in Israel, they don't support Netanyahu. They think Netanyahu's a war criminal, and he's got the international community. He's got warrants out on his head. He's a bad guy. But I do say, like all great men in history, you got to take the good with the bad. And the good part of him is that he's been able to neutralize a hostile population that is mobilized against his people. And that's all you could really ask for. When you're a leader, you protect your people. And sometimes it means, the U.S. is guilty. You ever heard of the highway of death? We bombed an entire highway of Iranians who had surrendered, and they were just walking. And we had went and we used white phosphorus, and we burned them to death. Women, men, and children, all dead on this big highway, burned.
You want to know a simple solution that could end the whole Israel Palestine thing within like one
Lay it
day?
on me.
If Netanyahu simply answered the Palestine question of what are we going to do with the Palestinians? Are we doing a two-state solution, one-state solution? And if they do a one-state solution, are they giving them citizenship? Like, they have to work out a way where it benefits both of them, because just removing all these...
We need a state solution. Correct.
Yeah, we need a solution to, because I feel like all the neighbors and all the Arabs wouldn't be. That's the thing. I'm not justifying these terror groups, but all these terror groups have been made because of the whole Israel versus Palestine thing, and that's why all these terror groups have been made. And that's the thing. I don't agree with them killing civilians. I don't, in fact, agree with any civilian death whatsoever. But you got to understand, it's like they were made because of this question. And I feel like a lot of the terrorists would back off if the question was just simply answered. What are we going to do with the Palestinians? What is the Palestine question? Is it a one-state solution? And if it is, are these people going to get citizenships? And if they do get citizenship, or at least like some form of secure, they just need some. I bet you that at least the innocent Palestinians, the ones that are not a part of Hamas, they would probably be happy if they just got recognized as normal second-class civilians. They probably won't even care if they don't have as many privileges as the Israelis. They just want to make sure that they don't get bombs dropped on their head. They just want to live life, and I feel like in order to stop
both of them,
in order to stop a lot of the wars and stop from innocent people on both sides of being killed, then we got to eliminate the problem on Israel's side as to answer the question. And once they answer the question, anything that the terror groups do after that question is answered will be their fault because the question's already answered. But I feel like Netanyahu's purposefully not answering the question because he just wants to see, I don't know what it is with him, but he doesn't want the Palestinians to have any rights whatsoever. And he just wants a lot of them to starve because he sees them all as subhuman. And that's the problem. That's why, like you said, a lot of Israelis don't even like Netanyahu because he's the reason why this conflict's been going on for as long as it has. And not only that, but Netanyahu also activated this. I'm trying to remember the name, but it's like this thing where Israel basically kills their own people to make sure that Hamas don't go and exchange hostages because they basically Israel basically murdered their own people on October 2nd. And I feel like Netanyahu is just not really a good leader because all he does is just create terror and he doesn't have any good solutions. And I feel like if, the Israeli government were to just answer the Palestine question, it would make the stuff in the Middle East a lot better. Triton, who is that dude? Well, Green, I guess you could introduce yourself to the few people in my. Well, you already kind of did, but that's the thing, Green. Since it's the first time I'm talking to you, what is your background history and commentary? Like, are you a Deorio fan, Deorio orbiter, Deorio mod? Like, what is your whole background within the commentary community? You there? I'm still here, right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. He's from Imral's community. Oh, Imral. That's the name. Imral came on my show 3 years ago. In fact, it was actually a funny debate because every time me and Imral used to call in before I always even called Ravencast when I used to host the Lord Triton show. Imral used to call in and debate me, and honestly, it was good debates, good stuff, good times back then. It was right when I was new to streaming. Yeah, from Imral's community. Imral's all right. I've don't have beef with him. He can be a little spurgy, but so can I. That's probably why we were so good. In fact, if Imral's watching, we can have debates about any topics, anytime. Even if I win or lose, at the end of the day, content's content. And honestly, it was fun time. It seems like Green may have lost some internet or something. Which I did hear him get into a car, so maybe he.
Hello?
Yeah,
my I was connected to my car. My bad. I've been saying from the beginning, I was saying I would call the United States a terrorist organization because, this is a Republican lie. They say the Hannibal Directive, it says they can kill their own soldiers. That's just
that's the name I was looking for.
the Hannibal Directive. It is not okay. That is the very bad faith way to describe the Hannibal Directive. So the Hannibal Directive it is a military doctrine.
But don't they still kill civilians just to make sure that the other people don't have hostages?
So it is only to prevent the capture of Israeli soldiers by enemy forces. And that's the only way. It is to make sure that in Israel, because over there it is bloodshed nonstop. These people,
I
they
heard it
take
was
you, they
civilians.
torture you, and so it is only really for soldiers. It's only for soldiers. They would try to make sure if there is no way they know you're about to be captured, they are going to try to kill you, and it is not because they just don't want to have you suffering in the hands of the enemy.
Yeah, but
And the United States operates under a symbol. Well, the United States is not so kind.
Yeah, but wait,
The
didn't
United States
Israel
abandons
admit?
its soldiers overseas. We do not put any money into the. We do not give our veterans enough mental health. I've got personal friends that they go to the what is it? The fucking vet center. What is this shit called? The goddamn. You know what I'm talking about. And they go there, and the military doctors, they tell them, "Oh, I feel depressed. I'm getting flashbacks. I'm getting cold sweats." And they say, "You need a Vicodin. You need a melatonin. Hey, you're just overthinking it. Toughen up, guy. Toughen up." That's what they tell them. And this is in the big year 2024 was the last time. So I got a barber who's also a Marine who's got the same issue. The guy not even allowed to get disability because he didn't say a real day of combat. He was stationed. He got injured in training, but then when he comes home, he's got hearing loss. He's got cold sweats. He's got issues, and the vet saying the center is telling him, "We got nothing for you. None of this is documented." There's a very clear thing. There's a pipeline of people who come right out of high school with no future, no education. They go straight into the military. They are just cannon fodder. And if they come back broken because the military teaches you to be a tool, a weapon of war, and they do not teach you how to become a human afterwards. And so at least in Israel, it's a mandatory conscription. Every person knows how to operate a firearm. Everyone knows from an early age how to handle under stress. But the big thing is that they prioritize mental health, resources. We do not. And so the United States, We get a soldier over there, they get overwhelmed and they're about to get closed in, and we just abandon them. We've had many, many soldiers who come back. They say that their
Oh,
commanders
wait. I got
abandoned them.
actually, hold on, I'm bringing this up because here it says that Israel did kill its own civilians that day. Here, I'm going to bring this up.
Okay.
Let's see, the Hannibal Directive. So, move that, bring this up.
You know, the United States has been guilty. So back in the Vietnam
Yeah,
War,
I don't support our
what were we
government
doing over
either. In
there?
fact, I honestly think we need a regime change in a lot of governments, including ours, because
Absolutely.
our governments cover up for the Epstein files. Like our government's no better than all these other governments. But
Where do you see a pop? Is the United States growing poppy? Where's all the heroin coming from? Where is the cocaine coming from? Where
so
is fentanyl coming on?
so
We're
it
not growing it
says
here. It's
so it
coming in
said
overseas.
all right.
Because
So
our
here's
government, our military, they will sell it. They will have black ops. They will distribute it in the low income communities. The communities get destroyed. They take the profits. They go and they go buy guns overseas in some Latin countries. They take those guns. They sell them at a higher price to the Middle Easterns, and they have them fight each other. And then we come in and we take up the oil. I know that personally, firsthand, 100% to be the case.
so it says yes. Former Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallanti confirmed that the military implemented the controversial Hannibal Directive on October 7, 2023. In a February 2025 interview on Israeli television, Channel 12, he was asked if the order was given to execute the directive, a policy that allows the use of maximum force to prevent the capture of soldiers or civilians. Civilians, even at the risk of their lives, he answered. So he basically admitted that they killed their own citizens. And that's the thing. If they were killing their own citizens, and how many of the 1,200 people that were killed on October 7th were really killed by Hamas? In fact, there were helicopters dropping bombs. You know, Hamas didn't even have that technology. Hamas is behind the technology. They had rockets and stuff. They were firing rockets into the cities. They have machine guns, but they don't even have the high-tech stuff that Israel has.
Well, not exactly. So it's not exactly rocket science to get a helicopter. So the other nations, there's a lot of nations in the Middle East that do have a personal grudge with Israel.
Oh
But
no, I didn't
these
say that.
Saudi
I just said they
Arabians, they
don't
got
have.
money, and they are more than willing to sell guns at a cheap rate because they're already rich oil barons. They don't really care about taking a loss. Africa, people go over to Africa, and you know what? It's very possible, and it has been on record. ISIS were Afghani rebels that we trained. Because we left Afghanistan, they became Al Qaeda. They became ISIS. We were fighting Al Qaeda. We trained Afghani rebels. They become ISIS. So it's very possible, and
You
we're not
seem
going
like
to see this.
You're more critical of our government, but our government has done a lot of that stuff because Israel told us to, right? Israel told us to train those Afghani rebels because they were against Iran and other enemies that Israel didn't like. Netanyahu's even admitted to working with enemies to go after other enemies, to divide his enemies.
The only reason why we would be doing a thing that Israel tells us to do is because the people in power are fucking kids, and Israel's got sexual blackmail on them. That's the only reason why we move.
So you
when Israel
want
tells
us
to jump.
so why should we be allied with a government that allows our politicians to sexually traffic kids? That doesn't make any sense.
Our complete political structure is corrupted. It's full of rats. It's full of weasels, and it's irradiated. And most of this, Israel has seen this, and we have blackmail on other countries. They got blackmail on us. But it makes sense when you stop and you think, these politicians that are lobbying for us to get it more heavily involved in Ukraine and Israel, they're also taking fat checks too
Do
because
you
they're like
think we
prostitutes.
should? Do you think we should keep voting, even though that's the thing? I know, like our votes won't even do anything, but do you think we should still be part of the problem and voting for these people that keep on, and also keep talking for these people, not criticizing these people? Like, do you really think it's beneficial for us to keep voting for these people?
I believe a radical solution, and the radical solution would be to vote directly, even if it's Kamala, even if you don't, for Kamala, she was having sex with her prosecutor, and that's how she got up in government. She
Why
was
would
having
you want?
sex
Why would you want to
with all
go
these
with the
people.
popular opinion? Because see, you're telling me in chat, you don't like Nicholas Deorio because you should go with popular opinion. This is exactly why I don't go with popular opinion because y'all just want to keep voting these motherfuckers in. I don't want to keep voting for the same politicians that are doing pedo shit on Epstein's Island and basically being
Exactly.
corrupted
I
as
would
fuck.
rather take a whore. I would take a whore who fucks men than a guy who fucks
I
kids
don't
like
even
Donald
want, I don't
Trump.
take any of them. You shouldn't take any of them because that's how these people get into power. That's how these people keep on getting into the stuff. Also, is this the real fucking Parlo? The fuck? Also, YouTube hits your comment, but is this the real Parlo or is this a fucking troll?
Who Parlo?
It says
It's
Parlo Gaming YT. It could be a fake.
that could be a real guy. That could be I don't know who that guy is. I Parlo internet adjacent. That could be him. Check their app. That could be a guy.
It says, hold on, Parlo White.
Donald Trump doesn't care about black people.
I don't think he cares about us either, dude.
I agree.
He cares about nobody. That's why, like, I regret voting for the dude because he basically, sold us out.
Oh, I see in chat. Parlo Gaming YT. Are you a pedophile? No. No, I have a large community of anti-fans that are looking to attack me and discredit me all the time. I have never been in any DMs with any minors. I have never expressed sexual interest in any minors. I have no interest in any of that. So I rebuke that categorically.
Good, hope so. Because that's the thing. I'll be honest. I know people in commentary throw that word around all the time. They've done it to me in the past. Like just say, "Hey, that's an insult." Oh, it's funny. It's like I just ignore people like that. You just ignore people like that. Like if you know you ain't guilty of anything, and you just gotta say, "Hey, these people are just throwing it around." And eventually, if you don't give into it and you don't spurg out, these people will eventually just leave you alone and not, coming after you. But that's the thing. It's just with Deorio, Israel, and all these topics, it's just like that's the thing. With the Deorio thing to close out of that whole segment, and that whole thing, I don't like the direction he's going because Deorio used to be someone I actually respected. He's someone that used to call out the big creators. He didn't care about what sides they were. If they were doing shitty shit, he would call them out and he would be on the side of the truth. But now all he does is fucking lie. All he does is lie, lie, lie. All he does is sleep for people like Ethan Klein. He doesn't have any of his own opinions. He's not for free speech anymore. He blocks, like, it's just so much stuff I can get into. Like, we could literally have a whole another 2-hour conversation of why I feel like Diorio's fallen off, but
I'll keep it short and simple. Why I support Deorio. Deorio, he was able to notice with Ethan Klein. These snarkers, they get out of control. And the way that they affect you is by going after your business. They fuck with your family. And right now, we got a big snarker problem this side of the community. In our neck of the woods, we got people in the snarking. Have you ever heard of the snarker left? The snarker
I've
left
heard this
server.
story.
They're running a doxing operation. That's what Destiny is saying. That's what the Wick is saying. And so Kuiman is on YouTube and he's saying this is not true. But then the snarker left, they put out on Twitter that there were doxes that were posted, but they were deleted. And so in my mind, I'm thinking anybody who's in their right mind think that's an okay thing to do. That is someone you need to get rid of immediately. It makes your whole
Well,
it makes your whole group look bad.
so
And
my
your whole
question
group
is,
as
if
a
they
whole.
deleted it, did they ban the person? And if they banned the person, then why are we criticizing them if they? Because that's the thing. Like the whole thing changes. Like if they ban the person or not. Because I feel like if you're using a server to dox people, you should just ban them instantly. And my question with the whole snark thing is, did they ban the people? Like, do you know if they banned anybody?
So what they've said is they've banned the people. They banned the people, but the people should not be posting doxes. These people, so
Yeah,
the server is like a private spot. You have to be invited. You need to be vouched for.
yeah, but
And
if
when you go to the rules list, you have to say that you do not like Israel and you do not like Ethan Klein. That's in the rules list. Willie Mack confirmed this. So these people are already pretty unhinged when they go in,
well,
and then they go in and the people that they vouch for are posting doxes and they get moderated. And obviously it's against Discord TOS, but that's mainly why they're deleting the docs to begin with, because like who is the guy?
But
It's not
if
just
they're
the guy
doing
who
their
posted it,
job,
it's the guy that vouched for them. Really?
yeah, that's the thing. It's like if the owners and the mods because are doing their job and they're getting rid of the people that are posting the doxes, then it's like there's not really much you can say about it. It's like, yeah, they shouldn't invite these people at all, but it's like at the end of the day, it's
It's
like
reckless.
it's the internet. It's still the internet. Yeah, it's reckless, and they should do a better job of like who they're vouching for. But at the same time, it's like people on the internet, like there are so many people that I interact with and I think they're nice, but then they just do unhinged shit that I have to ban them for because it's the internet. The internet's the wild, wild west. You don't know what these people could be doing. And if the snark people are doing their job, they're banning the people and they're disavowing the doxes, then you can't really say that they themselves are doxers when they're disavowing it and kicking the people for doing it. Now it's a different story. If it's a different story if they didn't ban the people, if they allowed the people to stay. But it seems like to me, from what you admitted, that they banned the people, and if they banned the doxers, then to me it's like the only criticism is why did you vouch for these people, and then you should be careful on who you let in your server. But at the end of the day, it's like that's the thing. I run a public server. My server's simple. If I don't know people, anyone gets a free state. But as soon as you come in, post boxes and post like fucked up shit like that, you're out immediately. And that's just my whole thing. It's like, and that's what public communities should do. So give people chances, and then if they fuck up, get rid of them. And I feel like if Snark got rid of his people, then I feel like they did their job, and I feel like the criticism against them is not really that valid, because the only criticism you could give them is like, hey, you shouldn't let these people vouch for these people, and that's the only criticism you can really give. But I gotta get some water. I'll be right back for a second.
Go right. Okay, sounds good. I'm in my car. I'm just trying to. I parked over and I'm trying to get the radio to. Sorry, what's going on? I'm trying to get the radio. I'm trying to get. What is going on? I'm not. I just want the radio to play music. What is happening? What is happening?
About that. I had to get some water. My throat was cracking up.
I feel that too. My voice is cracking as well. Shit, man.
Yeah, I got some water, and I also found some. I found some birthday alcohol too, which is this right here. So
very nice. What is
I
that?
I lost it on my birthday because I was so drunk, and I found it in the trunks of the car. So I decided to put it in the fridge, and now just been drinking it. But it was honestly nice. Nice talking to you though. Like you seem like an alright dude. I know we disagree on some stuff, but if you have any other like disagreements, like I wouldn't mind talking to you time and time. We can debate about whatever.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I'm an open debater. Like I'm willing to talk to anybody.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you're incredibly polite and respectful, and I like the fact we were able to exchange ideas. I look forward to going toe to toe with you again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going toe to toe with you two again. And I'll see you whenever you come back.
Thank you, sir.